Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another One Piece manga review. This week we are reviewing chapter 1014, The Ham. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Mr. Christian Hollander. Christian, oh man, not looking good. Not looking good for the team. They would be the away team, right? Because I tweeted that and I was like, well, the Samurai are the home team, but they're on Kaido's turf, so they're the away team.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if we're going to be like super technical, Kaido came in and said, look, your home turf is my home turf now.
Facts.
So, yeah.
They're the away team. Yeah, no.
They're the away team. Kaido bitched them out without a question.
That's a fact. Last week we were like, who's going to catch Luffy? Looks like nobody. Falling into the ocean. Oh, such a bad thing. But before we even get into that, I'm just sad right now for my boy. He's not looking too good. A lot of my faves are looking really bummy, and you're definitely gonna be going into that. But when we do this, we do a brief summary, and then we go into each portion of the chapter and talk about the themes and everything. So real quick, Luffy's fallen. He's in the ocean. We then see Kaido say something interesting. I'm not gonna say it. We'll save it because that's more important. Kaido's just MVPing, telling everybody like, look. Hey, tell everybody down there I'm coming. Wipe up the stragglers. I don't give a fuck. It's over with. Luffy's done. Dunzo. Momo's like, I can't die. Reading something on Oden's journal. Getting interesting. Getting spicy. We thought Sanji was going to fight Chopper. It seems Chopper's, he's going to fight Queen. Seems like Chopper's still holding it down. Don't know what's going to happen on that end. Chopper's doing his thing. We get a flashback to Caesar. Queen shoots a beam at him. Chopper, I think, dodges it, but he's huffing and puffing. He's not doing too well. We get a flash to every fight. Marco, Frankie, Jinbei, Sanji, and Zoro like, Luffy can't be down. Everybody's like not believing it. Kaido's like, nah, he's fucking toast. And then so Kanjuro draws up a Oden to strike at them, strikes Kiku down. Kiku has it seems like he's dead. It seems like she's dead. So it's like, I don't know. I feel bad for her, but c'est la vie. Then Kinemon strikes down Kanjuro, and then Kaido says, F all of this. I'm striking down Kinemon. And then Momo starts freaking out. Kinemon's, we don't know, but it does say Onigashima has reached the mainland, which is good. I actually do like that last little bit because we've been wondering for a while, like how much longer till we're going to get there. It seems like Act 3's closure is coming to a head soon.
Yep. Absolutely agree with that.
So where would you like to begin? In the beginning with Luffy's falling. It's over. Dude's in the water.
I am going to start with the beginning, but even before that, just to make my little jokes, we got a swordsman on the cover story with the title Hunter and a tiger behind him. So I've been making these jokes with the cover story regardless. Otis not even using Zoro, still making a reference to Zoro. I just had to say that. It's Law, which begs the question, why is it taking Law so long to catch up to Kid to fight Big Mom? Because we don't even see him in this chapter unless I missed him.
We do see him, but he's not with Kid and Big Mom. He's right before them. We don't know where he's at. It's just him. And he's like, oh, Luffy, no.
Oh, yeah, we do. Okay. Well, he didn't even make that much of an impression on me because I was like, dude, come on. Like, you're on the same level as Big Mom, so hurry up and help Kid out. But, yeah, let's start with the hype moment at the very beginning because Kaido is a savage. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, I mean, he talks about how Luffy does actually have the ability to infuse Conqueror's Haki, but he's still kind of crappy at it, which was interesting because it seemed at first when we saw, Luffy boxing Kaido in base form, we were like, wait a minute, this is actually looking really, really nice.
That tells me he might have tried Gear 4.
I mean, yeah, we know he has to, put that with Gear 4 because Gear 4 is his high tier ability. I mean, we've seen that. Again, I love this quote to go back to Doflamingo. Doflamingo told Luffy, look, as far as the New World's concerned, your speed is up to par. You can probably go with anybody. Your strength is what's lacking, and that's when he uses Gear 4. So we've seen Luffy speed-wise can keep up with almost anybody, but his base form's just not cutting it yet. My hope for him, again, is that at some point he's going to be able to use Gear 4 the same way he used Gear 2nd, where he doesn't have to burn out his entire body, but he can probably pull a cone gun out even in his base form, basically. So that, to me, is when he's mastered it. But yeah, base form, he looked nice, but it feels like Kaido was probably just sparring with him. He's like, all right, you're getting it. Let's see how far your ceiling can go. And then Kaido was like, okay, well.
You're not Joyboy. Crazy. Kaido, how much, man, we need a Kaido backstory. Seems like he knows a lot.
I think he definitely knows a lot because he was interested in Odin's, journey. We don't know how much he found out about it, but it's obvious that Kaido knows something. Now, how in the world does he know anything about Joyboy? That's interesting because, again, I never got the sense that Kaido knew anything about the Void Century. The only people that we've seen, to my recollection, who have been dropping names like Joyboy would be, like the Roger Pirates.
The Straw Hats and maybe some people on Fishman Island, and that's it.
Yeah, and right. So I don't really know how he knows, maybe Luffy should be Joyboy, and I'm waiting on that as well.
Maybe that's his poneglyph.
Maybe so, but who does he have to read the poneglyph? He
that's
can't read
true
them.
Too, and that goes back to his conversation with Big Mom about how they need to keep Nico Robin alive.
Right. So I don't know how he knows that, but at the same time, apparently the world knows, or like Sengoku, I think Whitebeard knew via Roger that when Joyboy shows up, there's going to be a colossal war. So Kaido, who loved war, may have heard some kind of rumor, like when Joyboy shows up, that's when this huge world war is going to happen. So he's making a reference to I don't think you're the guy that this world's waiting on to turn into turmoil. But that line, gum gum, was it again? And then he just laughed.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's like, oh God.
Savage.
I loved it because, again, when I watched One Piece, my first gut reaction was like, gum gum, what is this show gonna be about? This rubber boy, what is this? And I got that same sense from Kaido. It was like gum gum, this is literally amusing. What kind of name is that? Drops this dude in the ocean. Yeah, it was great.
It's rough, man, but it's what people have been wanting from Kaido, at least for chapters. But it kind of solidifies. Discord was kind of talking about this, and I didn't say anything because I was waiting to read the chapter. When I saw the spoilers was like, oh, Luffy's in the ocean, I was just like, all right, I'm just waiting. No need for me to jump in. No need for me to get that sadness out early. But Discord was talking about who Joyboy could be. To me, this kind of confirms it's Luffy. I don't think it's anyone else.
We all know that. We know Joyboy is connected to the Straw Hat, the giant frozen Straw Hat with Emu. So, obviously Luffy's Joyboy. That's not even, the fact that Kaido mentioned it in reference to Luffy solidifies it, even though he's opposing that notion. But that obviously solidifies it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was someone else, a new character entirely. Just didn't see that.
Some people are saying it's Dragon because Dragon's the guy who could.
I saw Dragon. I saw Shanks. It's
not Shanks.
Yeah, no, I don't see it being either of them.
Nah, it's Luffy. Yeah, that's all I got on Kaido dropping Luffy. That was pretty solid. The roast of Luffy there was hilarious. But he immediately goes into let me demoralize.
He did the right. Kaido was smart, man. Kaido's like, I'm not just gonna wait up here till he comes back. If he comes back, giving him hope. He's like, I'm gonna just tell him right now, your captain's done for. So I'm coming kill the rest of y'all.
Yep. So I absolutely love that. This leads into Yamato. Don't really know what the significance of her not being a prisoner anymore. I get that Luffy freed her of the handcuffs, but why is that such a focus? I don't know.
Maybe because he can free roam and free.
Yeah, I get it.
Seems like just a filler panel to me, but like a couple of these are. But the interesting stuff from here on out is Momo.
Yeah, Momo is reading this journal. And he says, it would seem that I truly must not die. I personally believe, and I'm going to get into this later in the chapter, but I believe that with the correlation between Momo and his father and the voice of all things, that Oden wrote something about the voice of all things and the importance of that. We know Luffy has some delineation of it, but Momo is the one who can communicate with Zunisha. He probably is connected to an ancient weapon, similar to Shirahoshi. And I will come back to that notion in a couple of panels, but that one panel of "it would seem that I truly must not die" is very, very important in my opinion. Shinobu was like, "Well, I mean, duh, young master," but he's like, "No, you don't understand.
You don't get
like,
it, yeah.
I really can't die." So,
and then it goes to Chopper taking Sparrow arrows and knocking down Queen. Like, go Chopper.
I actually missed Sparrow's arrows the first time I read through it. This dude seems not to be bothered by those candy arrows thus far. He's not complaining about it. He's not mentioning how they're all in his back. But he is tossing Queen around, which is interesting because the only other person we've seen do this was Big Mom, who was able to just toss Queen's Zoan form around like this. And again, it's very, very interesting because Chopper did fend off Big Mom in her territory. Granted, she was hungry, and he was using the I forgot what transformation that was that he turns into a giant ball. So he was just rebounding. But Chopper really, I've been asleep on the lower tiers of the Straw Hats. And I think this is going to make a great comedic moment when Chopper gets a bounty of like 500 or maybe 1,000 or something that's just still ridiculously way too low. But people should be seeing this. I mean, like, he's really contending with the Yonko commander, and I just was not foreseeing this.
I didn't see this happening at all.
At all.
There were some people who were talking about this battle, and I was like, I don't think this battle's really going to happen. But like, the more and more we're going down, it seems we even get a Chopper training flashback where he was talking with Caesar, like crazy.
It's great to see, again, Kaido's subordinates, or specifically Queen's subordinates, flipping on him, saying, yeah, Chopper, get him, you backstabber, and all these other things. But Chopper's really actually kind of holding his own. And so to see that Caesar and Chopper had a moment is great, because I think it wasn't in the forefront, but it was definitely showcased before. Chopper and Caesar had this kind of rivalry where, Chopper's like, okay, you shouldn't be using your genius to hurt people and to make things that injure people, but you're obviously a genius, and I do respect that. I forgot where this came up, but Chopper did talk about how he respected Caesar's knowledge when it comes to chemicals. And so I also, at first when I was reading this, it's like, is Caesar going to backstab Chopper by putting like some potent chemicals that is going to hurt Chopper? But I don't think so. I think Caesar, he'll take his moment to, help himself because he's a scumbag. But at the same time, I think in this moment, he genuinely did help Chopper make something that's a lot better for him with his Rumble Balls. Moving it up from 3 minutes to 30 minutes, which is very impressive.
Very impressive, because the issue that a lot of people had with the Straw Hats were that they're a crew that has to get things done fast. When everyone else is fighting for days, Roger Whitebeard 3 days, Sakazuki and Aokiji like 2 to 3 days. Maybe even more than that. But I
thought it was like 10 days.
Could have been. I was just lowballing it. But the point is, the Straw Hats get things done in the afternoon, and they have to kind of extend that if they want to fight with the heavy hitters. So I know 30 minutes isn't anything to a day, but it's an upgrade to say the least from 3 minutes.
And I mean, obviously Chopper's going to improve this again. If we can get a 10 times multiplier, then if we multiply, 30 minutes by 10, that's like 5 hours. So that's a lot better. That's a lot better if we can get something else like that, especially if Chopper can get into a position where he can, change forms repeatedly. Like, imagine him going from Monster Point, leaving Monster Point, and then going back into Monster Point. So, something like that would be really nice. But to get a flashback for Chopper, as you were saying, essentially a training arc flashback type thing, like a Rayleigh flashback, a Gilmore flashback, a Mihawk flashback. I was not expecting that at all, which really makes me think, yo, Queen versus Chopper, for real.
It's seeming a little bit more like it. But
I thought that slap was just kind
that's
of
a
like,
good thing for you.
We threw that in there. We gave Chopper a bone, and that's it. Nah, like he's really going up against Queen.
That's a good thing for you, though. That I think that adds to the ZKK theory because Sanji has to fight someone.
He has to fight. I still got Sanji has to fight King. It's just Zoro's not fighting King, man.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it anymore.
It doesn't make any sense. And at this point, I don't see Chopper fighting Queen just for Sanji to come in and fight Queen, and then Zoro fights King, because that's just, as much as I slander Sanji, that's just more slanderous to him. Like, we haven't gotten a good fight from him, period. Someone on Twitter, had a post that was like Sanji versus the high tiers in the New World, and it's been terrible. Since Virgo, Sanji broke his leg, and Sanji's supposed to be the kicking master. Virgo just got introduced, and Sanji's breaking his leg. Next person we see, Doflamingo just embarrasses him. Granted, yeah, he does accomplish his mission of saving the Straw Hats and Dressrosa, but then Law has to save Sanji. It's not looking good. I came in, I chimed in with that. I said his best showing was beating the crap out of a defenseless Luffy. That's not a good look, man. King almost puts a hole in his body in a single clash. If it wasn't for the raid suit, Sanji would have been dead. It's like, okay, enough is enough. Like, go ahead, shut me up, give him a good fight. And Queen got bodied by Big Mom. He's been getting bodied by Marco. Chopper drew blood. So you want that guy to be Sanji's 1v1? No. I get that, there's some kind of history between Queen and Judge and the Ben Smokes or something like that. But that's about the only tether between Queen and Sanji. Whereas, you can make the same kind of surface level analogies with Sanji versus King, which we've talked about before. The black suit, the flames, and the kicking ability. King can fly, Sanji can fly. It's right there. So that needs to happen. We don't really see King, to my knowledge.
No, we don't. We just see Marco flying around.
So I think that King has sustained a whole lot less damage than Queen right now. So it makes more sense for Chopper to have that uphill battle. Like I've been saying, it's time to push the Straw Hats. And if you get Chopper somehow, some way pulling out a win, I don't care if it's through some kind of chemical or medicine, whatever Chopper's strong suit is, and he somehow outcrafts Queen, I'm with that. The same way Sanji takes out Big Mom with the cake. I'm with that. Because I don't think Chopper is strength-wise Yonko Commander level. That makes no sense. People are already upset that, Zoro essentially skipped the steps of Yonko Commander to get to, the rooftop. But Chopper, all of a sudden, Yonko Commander strength-wise? Nah, that's way too much of a push for me.
And Queen even says this. He's like, dude's out of breath. I'm chilling. Like, we're good.
We already know Queen can get tossed around. That's really nothing. But it's still impressive for Chopper while not really diminishing Queen. And we also get to see, speaking of Queen, his neck modification, like that is...
Oh, yeah, we did.
That's creative. And the laser beams, like, is he like Kuma at this point? Is he like low-key a pacifista? Did he, like, what's going on with that? I'm very interested in that.
There's definitely a backstory there for that one.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get it. But Kaido definitely announces, look, Luffy's out. And we get to see all the Straw Hats, for the most part, their reactions to this. Frankie is like, hell no, there's no way. Marco seems to be concerned. And we do get a reveal here. Marco's bounty is lower than Luffy's currently, which is interesting. I didn't know that. Have we seen Marco's bounty?
Now, is that because Kaido doesn't know Marco's there?
Maybe, but I mean, it's not Kaido who's making this announcement. It is
Wong,
and she should know some information here.
That's a good point.
So I'm thinking, it kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't, because it's like, okay, well, Marco, he was a Yonko commander who kind of took over the White Bear Pirates, and we know that the world says that, okay, yeah, he's definitely a top tier, but he's still, it's kind of like a top tier with an asterisk.
Yep.
And Luffy's in that same level. So I don't think it's like colossally different. I think like maybe Luffy's 1.5 billion. Marco might be like 1.35 billion.
1.4.
Something like that, 1.4. It's probably negligible, but it is interesting to see that Luffy genuinely has outranked everybody on the Alliance's side, which is still nice, because, you know, Marco should be fading out of the storyline soon. Luffy's, you know, continuously moving up. So I did like that.
Get a little look at Jinbei and Who's Who.
And what we were talking about before that, it's just more Sanji slander. We got Who's Who basically looking like Sanji here. It's like, we're not going to give you a Sanji fight, but I'm going to give you a Sanji pose basically from Who's Who to be like, look at this. Look at this. Just, man.
And then Kaido's like, I'm going to allow y'all to surrender. And they're like, nah, I'm good on that. Kid was like, I don't care what happens to Luffy. I'm still here to fight you, big mom.
Yep.
Then we get, of course, everybody's like, no. Yeah.
Robin seems to have taken some pretty substantial damage. We don't even get to see Black Maria per se, but we can tell Robin's scuffed up. So it's been a tough battle for them, but it doesn't seem like Robin's on her knees or anything. So she's not
like Nami and Usopp. She's still
right.
looking strong, her and Brooke.
Right.
And then of course Sanji and Zoro are like, screw that. Don't know what y'all gonna do. Yeah.
I mean, and again, back to this Zoro's on the move. This isn't some half sleep Zoro either. He's fully alert at this. He's pissed. Sanji's pissed. So, like I said, Sanji, if you're this pissed, get a move on, man. You got one more chapter as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just like, man, you were twiddling your thumbs during a war, dog. Come on, bro.
No, you're right.
I get Zoro's, you know, incapacitated right now, but do something, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
then we get to the scabbards.
We get to the scabbards, man. So Kanjuro is the lowest of low. This dude takes on Odin's appearance again.
Yep. But you gotta remember that Momo headache before that. That's like the panel before, which I think is important to your theory, which you're gonna come with at the end.
So yeah. So we were discussing, you know, what's going on with Luffy falling into the ocean. We were saying, okay, well, maybe Yamato Momo might be able to do something while he's still airborne. But now that we know that he's genuinely in the water, which means no matter if he regains, first of all, he's unconscious and he's in the water. But even if he were to regain consciousness, he can do nothing. Mm-hmm. So as of this point, Momo can't do anything because he's a devil fruit user. Yamato can't do anything because, well, I mean, we don't know for sure if she's a devil fruit user, but I mean, the T thing, what other ability
could do that? Yeah, no.
So she's a devil fruit user. He's a devil fruit user, whichever one you want to go with. So we get Momo's headache. And this goes back to what he was reading earlier. Momo doesn't get a headache unless he is dealing with someone like Zunisha or a Sea King. The anime brought up Zunisha again, so I feel like that's spoilers. I think that I'm going to go with Zunisha for now, just because for the most part, the Sea Kings are around Fishman Island and the Calm Belt. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily think there's a Sea King in Wano, but Zunisha is constantly moving. We know that there's a tie between the Kozuki and the Minks. The Minks are, you know, located on Zunisha, or the Minks people have been located on Zunisha. So Zunisha making her way to Wano makes sense. I think Zunisha could like perhaps sense Luffy, or maybe with Momo's guidance, who Momo can sense Luffy, could use like her trunk, pull Luffy out of the water and then blow him back onto Onigashima or something along those lines.
I like it. That's the only theory that I've heard. So like, because Because I don't see Sanji go and save him. I don't see anyone.
I don't see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sanji's pissed, and he now knows Luffy's in the water, and Sanji has unbelievable observation hockey from what we've been told. So you can make an argument Sanji's ridiculously fast. You know he has blue walk, which is skywalk underwater. He's probably faster than a fishman underwater.
Throw that raid suit on, it's over.
So maybe we know he can fly. So maybe he, light speeds out of Onigashima and, dives in the water and saves Luffy. Maybe. But again, that just makes more of the meme of Sanji being a taxi. He goes and he gets Momo. He goes and he gets Zoro. He goes and he has Luffy in Whole Cake Island. I mean, let's go get Luffy again. Get him off of just getting people
rescuing and
travel, dude, man.
Yeah.
Get him in. This is the battle shonen. Give him a battle, man. So let Zunisha make this move. And it makes sense because Momo's having this headache and he's saying, look.
And that's the key thing. Like, it's every time Momo's had that happen to him, it's been because of something along those lines. So, like, I don't think you drop that plus Odin's journal without it being something similar. Right. And it could even be down to, like, what if it's like you said, the Kozukis and the Minks have a tie? It could be that Zunisha's supposed to be there at this time. We don't know that, like, who all's supposed to be there for this quote unquote dawn, but maybe Zunisha's programmed to be there. Right.
And I mean, Zunisha, her history is tethered to the Void Century. Kaido drops Joyboy, and Momo's reading the journal, which has to do with the Void Century. So all three of these things are tethered. So it kind of makes sense that Zunisha probably or maybe was sentenced to wander, the earth until maybe this moment. So maybe Zunisha knows, look, I got to pull up on Wano now. And she's been on her way this entire time. And Momo's saying, look, Kinemon, we must tell everyone Zunisha's on the way. Something like that. But I don't know. But that's the theory that I'm going with right now.
So then let's get to your person who you think is trash.
Trash, man. Okay, so we get Kanjuro being a great antagonist because pulling the Odin card is scummy. It is a great callback to Odin being distracted by the shape-shifting devil fruit and seeing Momo. So now Momo sees his father. And, of course, he doesn't know at this point because I don't believe he ever saw his father's dead body. So it makes more sense for Momo to be fooled by this. But Kiku, man, Kiku straight up says, not again. It's not him. You must not watch. Not once, but twice, you show us these mocking lies. Okay, so we know, Kanjuro has been selling out Odin and the Scabbards for over 20 years now. This is the same reason why when Odin decided to pull up on Kaido, Kaido was prepared. Kanjuro sold them out. Kanjuro continues to sell out the plans. So you have that, and you know that's the case. You failed to give him a finishing blow outside of Onigashima earlier.
Yep.
And I understand that. It's still fresh. He still just recently found out he's the traitor.
It may even be acceptable when Ashura Doji dies. Maybe.
Right. Then you let Ashura die. Because I mean,
because we don't
Ashura, like I said this before, Ashura, I got him over Pell. Pell survived the nuke.
Yeah.
Ashura is still alive, man. Nah. But Ashura dies. And now you know that he's pulling this on Momo, and you still hesitate, knowing that this is Kanjuro. So
Bad looks, Kiko.
It's just get the hell out of here, Kiko. This is a war. This is no time for a sentiment. Like, I get it, but I don't, because you know better.
Especially after all the history y'all had, like, and then when you compound that y'all had a traitor that long ago, because I just watched the Odin flashback on the anime. Right. It's like, ooh, like that should cut deep. So it's like,
right.
I don't know how you can let Kanjuro do all of this, Kiku. It's a bad look for you, girl. Bad look.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Kanjuro cuts down Kiku, which, it's sad, but Kiku's already been the punching bag. She lost her arm first. And now, apparently she's been stabbed through the chest. It looks like it could be through the heart. So,
and Kanjuro says that the wound you gave me will prove fatal, but like I'm about to give you a fatal wound too. So they
right.
both may be dead. Like this may be like legit death.
Without a doubt, Kanjuro has to die now because we see that immediately after this, Kinemon just slashes him. And we see that this slash is pretty thorough. Like it almost looks like he almost bisected Kanjuro a few panels later. But we do get to see that, apparently Kanjuro and Kinemon were very close. So within the scabbards, apparently Kanjuro's, he looked up to Kinemon the closest.
And he's like, it ought to be you.
It ought to be you. And we get that same sentiment of like, okay, we know that Kanjuro is a Kurozumi. He's been betraying them, but he also he's been wanting to die. So, he was willing to accept being boiled to death. He was willing, to die all these other ways, but being sliced down by Kinemon was appealing to him. So, that was okay. And I get, the whole bond between Kiku and Kinemon. So it's emotional, but get Kiku out of here, man.
Yeah, Kiku, she's gone. She's dead. The little her laying down talking about the dawn. This is cool at all. It's whatever, but it's over for you, girl. And then it's over for Kanjuro too. But it might be over for Kinemon. Like I realized this like super late. Like I had already read the chapter twice, and I'm thinking like, okay, he blocked. He might be down. Like I don't know. And then when you were like, nah, bro, look again. And I looked, and the blades are broken. Conqueror Hockey Strike. Kinemon may be dead, man. And I think it would be rightfully so.
It's gotta happen. I mean, we talked about this multiple chapters ago, but death has to occur, and there has to be a situation. I mean, if we saw Zoro get pissed off at just seeing Kiku's arm fall, and then he just straight up just bodies Apu and says, I'm tired of these games, imagine what Luffy is going to do when he comes back up and he's like, okay, I don't sense Kinemon anymore. I possibly don't sense Ashura Doji. I don't sense Kiku. What have I missed? And he has to learn, oh, they're dead. Oh, my buddies are dead. And we know how much Luffy loves the samurais. We know how much Zoro loves the samurais. We know how much the samurais are loved in general in Wano. So for the scabbards to go out like this, it's appropriate. It's about time. We get it. And I'm really hoping that, they're out. I hope Oda does not pull off some kind of BS where Kinemon is still alive unless he, like Kiku, is dying. Like if we see that he's still alive next chapter, but he's like, yeah, this is it.
And see, that's something that I would prefer just for the fact that I want Luffy to see him die. Like that's the only way, like, I'm like, all right, like he has to die, but let his death serve a little purpose. Cause I don't think he'd kill him while Luffy's in the ocean.
Right. And I mean, like when I think about that, I'm a little bit saddened because it's like, okay, I was kind of hoping Kinemon would make it through just because, he has his wife and his wife hasn't seen him yet.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
So it's really going to be tragic from that perspective because he's the only scabbard for the most part. Yeah, he's the only scabbard who really has a connection outside of the scabbards. I mean, Ashura has his people, but his people should be there dying with him.
Yep.
So he's the only one, really.
With an outside tie. Yeah, man. Poor Suru. She's not gonna see him. Damn.
Yeah, so that's gonna be tough. But that's what makes this so great. And like I said, for his blade to be broken, we know that a samurai's soul is his blade. So if his blades are gone, he should be gone. He serves no more purpose except to motivate other people via his death at this point. So he's got to be out of here. And this isn't just Kaido hitting him with a club. This is major hockey league. We don't get the title Ragnarok, but this looks like a Ragnarok. So, the jokes are, Kinemon was introduced with just half his body, and all we can see is his lower half, basically.
Ooh.
So I know Oda's not going to be as gruesome to just show his entire top half squished. But
it'd be a moment. Like let's enact 3 on some sadness. We're already here. You might as well do it.
Come on, give it to me. So, again, here we go.
It's tragedy time.
I don't know. It looks like Act 3 should be coming, but with Zoro not, around Marco yet, Chopper being preoccupied with Queen, who's going to heal him? So
he should be dead.
He's got to get back on his feet. I don't think he's going to stay in the cast this whole time, but Onigashima is about to be over the capital. So I got to make my ZKK plug. He's got to get back up at some point. I don't know how, though. So it's good because before it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion. Now I have no idea how it's going to happen, but it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Oh, man. And no break next week. This is solid.
No break. Thank God. No break, man. That break beforehand was hard, man.
Yeah, this last one was a long break.
That was hard.
I can see Act 3 into this upcoming chapter. I can really see that.
I need these curtains to close. I need Act 3 to start, man.
I don't have any theories. I think you brought the best theories to the video this week with the Zunisha, so I'm gonna let that one rock. Yeah. I'm good with that, but that's pretty much all we got this week. Christian, tell the people where they can follow you at on social media.
Twitter is going to be at Hollinger94. Then Instagram will be Design Season, and if you want to see my graphic content, same on Twitter, Design Season LLC.
Y'all make sure y'all go follow Christian. Be sure to follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. Subscribe to the YouTube, and like we said, no break. We'll talk to you soon. Break. I'm excited, so we'll talk to you next week. Until then, peace.